They isolated a human for 3 years. She walked out smiling, and they realized they were defeated. They thought they could break her. A single human, held in silence for 3 years, no light, no sound, no contact. The KRYTH Dominion called it psychological containment. They had studied humans, dissected their minds, catalogued their fears. They believed that isolation, the removal of social contact, was the one thing no human could endure. They were wrong. 1. The capture. Her name was Captain Mara Hale, commander of the Terran Recon fleet, captured during the siege of Valros 4. The KRYTH had spent decades fighting humanity, but they never understood them. They thought humans fought out of instinct, not choice. When they found Hale among the wreckage of her ship, she was still holding a plasma torch and a broken rifle. Her wounds were fatal by any KRYTH standard. Yet when they tried to sedate her, she spat blood and laughed. "That all you've got?" she whispered before passing out. The KRYTH scientists noted her defiance as psychological malfunction. They didn't understand that for humans, pain wasn't defeat. It was motivation. 2. The experiment. The KRYTH Dominion prided itself on breaking species through control. They'd broken the Tarlac with starvation, the Velin with sensory overload, the Kreenai with fear conditioning. But humans were different. They adapted. So the high mind ordered something new: isolation. No sound. No color. No touch. A pure white cell, with artificial gravity and oxygen. 3 years of silence. They expected her to scream, to beg, to lose herself in madness. Instead, she meditated. At first, she walked the room endlessly, counting her steps, mapping every centimeter of her prison. Then she began talking to herself, to her memories, to the voices of her past that no one else could hear. She smiled when they removed her food rations. She sang when the lights dimmed. She hummed earth lullabies to the sterile walls. The KRYTH called it psychotic resilience. But it wasn't insanity. It was discipline. 3. The observation. I was there, Dr. Velith, Dominion behavioral analyst. My task was to record her degradation. But degradation never came. On the first year's mark, she began training. Push-ups. Squats. Cardio against resistance that didn't exist. Every day, 4 hours. When we cut her heat supply, she adapted by controlling her breathing, slowing her pulse to conserve warmth. When we changed her sleep cycle, she trained herself to rest in 90-minute bursts, cycling like a machine. By the end of the second year, we increased stress stimuli, hallucinations, hunger deprivation, and sensory confusion. She smiled through all of it. "You think I'm alone," she said once, staring straight into the observation lens. "You don't know what lives in a human mind." That was the first time I felt fear. 4. The collapse. By the 36th month, the KRYTH were divided. Half of the scientists demanded she be executed. The other half wanted to dissect her brain. But the high mind refused both. The experiment is not complete until she breaks. So they ordered her final test: total deprivation. No food. No water. No light. 7 days passed. 10. 14. On the 15th day, I went to the observation chamber and saw her sitting cross-legged in the dark, eyes open, heartbeat steady. She smiled. "You're still watching," she said softly. "Good. I was afraid you'd miss it." Her voice shouldn't have reached me, our sound barriers were absolute. Yet somehow, I heard every word. I ran the diagnostics again. The system was intact. And yet, she had spoken to me. 5. The awakening. That night, she escaped. No alarms triggered. No locks broken. The door simply opened. When guards arrived, she was standing in the corridor, bare feet on the cold metal, her eyes reflecting the pale light of the ship. 3 years, she said quietly. Thank you for the training. The guards aimed their plasma rifles. She moved faster than I could blink. 2 disarmed. 1 incapacitated. No killing blows, just precision. Every camera feed went dark except the one I controlled. She looked into the lens again. You tried to take away everything human about me, she said. But all you did was remind me what we're capable of without it. Then she was gone. 6. The aftermath. The KRYTH fleet went on high alert. Every exit sealed. Every sensor recalibrated. Yet one by one, our systems began to fail. Communications jammed. Engines powered down. The engineers found the cause: our own nanite network was rewriting itself. Lines of human code were embedded deep inside. She'd memorized the Dominion's systems from sound alone, recreated them from memory, and now she was rewriting them. Within 12 hours, every ship in orbit was offline. A Terran transmission filled our screens. Isolation successful. Subject extraction complete. And then the fleet arrived. 7. The human response. We'd forgotten that humanity never leaves their own behind. Dozens of Terran warships materialized around our station, silent and unyielding. They didn't open fire immediately. They waited. Then Captain Hale's voice echoed through every comm frequency in the system. You studied me for 3 years. Now it's my turn. No threats. No screams. Just a statement of fact. Her fleet moved like shadows, disabling weapons, dismantling shields, but never firing a lethal shot. They didn't want destruction. They wanted understanding. Within hours, the Dominion surrendered. And when they released her official record to the galaxy, everything changed. 8. The Council's reaction. The Galactic Council watched the footage in silence. Every frame of her imprisonment. Every act of defiance. Every smile. The Varel ambassador whispered, "You can't break a species like that. You can only awaken it." And that was the truth. Humans didn't need armies to win wars. They only needed time. Because where other species decay, humans evolve. 9. The interview. Months later, I met her again. She was free now, her rank restored, her medals shining. I asked her the question that had haunted me for years. How did you survive the silence? She smiled again, the same calm, terrifying smile I'd seen in that white cell. We don't survive silence, she said. We become it. We listen to it until it speaks back. And when it does, I asked, that's when you realize you were never alone. 10. The truth. Years have passed since then. The KRYTH Dominion no longer exists. Not by destruction, but by surrender. They joined the Terran Alliance, swearing never again to conduct human experiments. Every species now knows the truth the KRYTH learned too late. You can chain a human's body. You can isolate their mind. But you cannot extinguish their will. Because somewhere inside every human, buried beneath laughter and kindness, is something ancient, cold, and unbreakable. It's not hatred. It's resolve. And when that resolve smiles back at you after 3 years of silence, you realize the war was over long before the cell door opened.